Alexandra Eala. The fans that she had today were people that she won over with her tennis and her performance.
Center court on Saturday afternoon smelled of freshly cut grass and disbelief. 10,000 people had arrived, expecting a coronation for the defending champion. 99 minutes later, they were on their feet for a 21-year-old from Quezon City who had just forced Iga Swiatek to grab her towel and walk away from her own kingdom. On the other side of the grounds, Aryna Sabalenka finished her third-round match on court 1 as the world number 1, and by the time she made it back to the locker room, the sport had already moved on without her. What happened over the next 24 hours turned that quiet exit into something Sabalenka may not recover from this summer. Here is the context you need. Alexandra Eala arrived at Wimbledon 2026 with a career record of 1 win and 5 losses in Grand Slam main draws. That means her Swiatek victory on July 4th was not only historic for the Philippines, it was the first signature win of her career at a major, period. And the shot that carried her through was the same second serve every scouting report has identified as her biggest weakness for the past 2 years. On Saturday, that weakness became the sound of a title defense coming to an end. The people who discovered this story before the mainstream sports desks did subscribe and stay in that circle. Sabalenka was supposed to own this fortnight. Wimbledon is the only Grand Slam missing from her collection, 3 semi-final appearances, and it still remains out of reach. And 2026 was supposed to change that.
Just wanna quit tennis right now, but we'll see in a few days. Hopefully I'll get back on track.
She arrived in London already carrying emotional scars, though. 1 week before the tournament, she sat down with The Guardian and said, and this is a direct quote, "I understand why some people think I'm..." She called her Roland Garros final defeat the worst final she had ever played. The world number 1 was battling her own reflection before she even stepped onto the grass. And in that vulnerable moment, the very moment a champion needs the crowd's support the most, the crowd found someone else to cheer for. On that same July 4th afternoon, while Sabalenka was grinding past Jelena Ostapenko 6-4, 6-4 on court 1, Alexandra Eala was rewriting the tournament's headline on center court. Reports of Sabalenka's press conference tone changing in the days that followed began circulating online. Although her on-record comments about Eala remained carefully respectful, the internet sensed blood and did the rest. Start with the scoreboard. Eala defeated the defending Wimbledon champion 7-6 in the tiebreak, 9 points to 7, then 6-2. 1 hour and 51 minutes. She saved 2 set points in the opening tiebreak, then sealed the match with a forehand winner on her third match point. This was not a Swiatek collapse. This was a takedown executed on the biggest court in tennis against a 5-time Grand Slam champion who had won last year's Wimbledon final without dropping a single game. Now look at the deeper numbers. 24 winners against 21 unforced errors, 5 of 7 breakpoints converted, 8 of 11 breakpoints saved. And here is the statistic that ended a title defense. Eala won 55% of her second serve points. Swiatek won 32%. The player everyone claimed had a weak serve outserved the defending Wimbledon champion on grass. Then Eala stepped up to the microphone, and the tournament changed shape. Her voice cracking, she said, "Maybe for someone like Iga, who's won so many slams, or maybe for someone like Serena or Venus, this achievement may seem small. But for someone who grew up in the Philippines, I went to train with my brother and my grandfather every day after school, with my ruffled socks and light-up shoes and chubby cheeks. So to me, this is everything." She mentioned the 2 most iconic names in women's tennis, connected them to a childhood on the other side of the world, and delivered the most widely shared moment of Wimbledon 2026 in just 40 seconds. The clip was reposted by the official WTA, Wimbledon, and Olympics accounts within the hour, with each drawing 6-figure engagement. While that video was making its way around the world, Sabalenka's routine victory was quietly slipping off the front page. The Athletics Day 6 recap led with Eala for more than 1,000 words before Sabalenka's name even appeared. When the world number 1 wins and the coverage barely notices, that is not just a slow news day. That is a shift in narrative gravity happening in real time. And every Filipino fan who has been shouting Eala's name into their phones since Miami 2025 just watched the mainstream finally hear what you have been saying all along. Then Sunday happened. July 5th, 4th round. Court 1. Naomi Osaka, who had lost to Sabalenka 3 straight times in 2026, defeated her 6-3, 6-2. It was Sabalenka's first straight sets loss at a Grand Slam since 2020. Eala did not just outshine the world number one for one Saturday. By Sunday night, Sabalenka was on a plane, while Eala was still practicing. The strongest validation of Eala's performance did not come from a pundit. It came from the woman she defeated, Iga Swiatek, five-time Grand Slam champion, four-time French Open winner, and defending Wimbledon champion who had beaten Amanda Anisimova 6-0, 6-0 in the 2025 final, stood at the podium after her loss and admitted the truth on the record. She described Eala's second serve as super slow and said, direct quote, "It was much tougher to return a serve like that." Let that sink in. A former world number one and five-time major champion gave the tennis world its explanation. The shot everyone dismissed as Eala's biggest weakness became the shot that broke the rhythm of the defending Wimbledon champion. Eala's smiling response when reporters mentioned it? "I did my job well. No boasting, no celebration. Just the calm tone of someone who had known this moment was coming for quite some time." Zoom out, and the story becomes much bigger than one draw. The WTA has been openly searching for its next global crossover star ever since Serena Williams stepped away from the tour, and Southeast Asia is the biggest untapped tennis market outside China. Until this weekend, that region had never produced a Grand Slam second-week headline act. Now it has one. She is 21 years old, speaks 3 languages fluently, and is photogenic enough that even the Olympics account is quoting her. This is broadcast value. This is sponsor mathematics. This is an Asia-Pacific calendar that suddenly has a new center of gravity, and the calendar itself is about to put that to the test. Monday's fourth-round meeting with Jasmine Paolini, the 2024 Wimbledon finalist and the number 13 seed, is followed by a U.S. Open series in which Eala's ranking is about to climb sharply, and a year-end race where Sabalenka's collapse this weekend has opened a door nobody expected to see open in July. The prediction is no longer bold. Aryna finishes 2026 inside the top 20, and the conversation about her ceiling changes from "Can she reach a slam quarterfinal?" to "Which slam will she win first?" None of this came easily. 8 days before Wimbledon began, Eala lost the Eastbourne final to Maya Joint in a final set tiebreak. Her first grass-court WTA final disappeared in an instant. That same night, she posted a thank you message to the crowd and her team. No self-pity, no excuses. 12 days later, she faced Maya Joint again, this time in the second round of Wimbledon, and won 3-6, 6-2, 6-0, down one set, then losing only 2 games across the next 2. 12 days between heartbreak and redemption. That is how this player processes setbacks, and it is exactly the quality Sabalenka, by her own Guardian admission, has been struggling to find. Ruffled socks and light-up shoes, a super slow serve that dismantled a defending champion, 12 days between a final set tiebreak defeat and a 6-0 revenge set. A world number one admitting to a national newspaper that she understands why the public turns against her, only 1 week before the crowd chose someone else. In a single weekend, Alexandra Eala did not just take Aryna Sabalenka's Wimbledon spotlight, she inherited the story the entire sport had been waiting for, while the world number one watched her own story slip away on the biggest stage. Every Filipino who has been tagging Eala under posts that received almost no engagement for the past 3 years, you were not early. You were right. Saturday was the day the algorithm finally caught up with you. So here is the question worth debating in the comments. If Eala defeats Paolini today, is Wimbledon 2026 already her tournament, even if she never lifts the trophy? Or does Sabalenka's exit mean this draw now belongs to someone else entirely? Leave your fourth-round prediction and your scoreline below. The people who found this story before the mainstream sports desks did, subscribe and stay in that circle. Every match Eala plays from here, we break down within hours. From the center court moments to the press room quotes the aggregator pages will never show you. This is a saga. Now experience it with the people who saw it first.